Are you able to see my first slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me know when to start. I'll start.
Sir, session is to proposed to be begin at 1 o'clock. Participants are joining. After that, we may start, sir.
Yeah, after that also you take 2-3 minutes. So I hope you are going to introduce me. Then I will I'll speak.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to all respected dignitaries, resource person, and dear participants. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the today's session of our faculty development program. We are truly delighted to have you join us for an insightful discussion on a very relevant and emerging topic, from POC to production reality, ADLC and drift. Today's session focuses on critical aspect of AI in healthcare, bridging the gap between experimental models and real world deployment. AI solutions often perform well at POC stage. Sustaining their performance in clinical setting is challenging due to issues like data variability and model drift. This session highlights the role of AI development lifecycle (ADLC) in ensuring reliable, scalable, and adaptive systems, and explore practical strategies to overcome these challenges for successful real-world implementation. It is now my proud privilege to introduce our esteemed resource person for the day, Mr. Pathi Lakshmi Narayanan. He is a seasoned business leader and CXO advisor with over 35 years of industry experience, including 29 years at TCS. He is currently a part of the core team at PALS, an IIT Madras alumni initiative designed to enhance engineering education. He is also acts as a mentor for industry problem-solving workshops and is associated with Cogentic Systems Limited. Research and global business leadership make him an exceptional leader for today's topic. We are delighted to welcome such a highly accomplished professional to our session. Without taking much of your time, I request Mr. Pathi Lakshmi Narayanan to kindly take over the session and share his valuable knowledge and experience with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for Jyothi Engineering College to give this opportunity. And then it is my immense pleasure to talk about this topic, which is to my heart, all the faculty team who are joined here. So, AI is everywhere we are talking about AI. And then it is affecting, like once computer impacted, it is the next generation of AI. I can say that it is impacting everybody's life. To do an AI, to use an AI, you need not be a very big computer literate. You should be able to use it as a common man itself. Today, if you see how many people are using ChatGPT or Perplexity or Gemini, many people started using that one. And then I would say that in your engineering student community, most of the people are using. In fact, it is difficult for you to find which is the original one, which is ChatGPT generated one. So that is the kind of intrusion AI has taken. But even though we are seeing one side that, what is the realistic issues, and then how much real core engineering problems are addressed by AI? So if you see whatever is happening at the POC level or a POV or just a student project or a small project, internal project in a company, only 20% of that one are moving to production. Why? And then how we can improve this percentage? What industries are doing today so that this improvement can be done? So we are going to discuss about that in the next 1.5 hours. So I am going to cover what is AI, what is traditional, just to set the context. What are the AI components are there? What is MLOps, LLMOps? DevOps is generally used in IT, but how it is getting adapted to the models, monitoring model, version controlling of models, etc. And then once it goes to production, what are the challenges? And then what are the risks in AI projects and mitigation? There may be some repetition in the slides, but I believe that that is given only for you to emphasize only for emphasizing the points. So key takeaways after the end of this presentation, what you are going to have it, AI is not rational item. Data is 80% of the effort. POC success is not production success. Monitoring is continuous. Organization transformation is mandatory. These are the 5 bullet points you will be carrying, I believe, after the end of this presentation. So we'll talk about one by one and then see how it is impacting and then how the AI projects are different and then what is required we have to do so that it is slowly it will become, computer was not, now it has become engineering. So AI also will get matured and then it will be just as a tool everybody will be using after some time. That is what my understanding and then hope. Why are we going for AI? Is it AI is required for every project to use? Whether we cannot do project without AI, still also, if we take the revenues projected by various companies, including TCS is making $40 billion. Their revenue, they are claiming $2 billion is AI projects. So it is a very small percentage of $40 billion project they are doing, only 2 billion is AI project. In that one also, I need to see how much is the real code engineering, how much are chatbot box. But still, companies are going and everybody is investing big time in infrastructure, training people, getting people equipped with AI, and then recruiting them with higher salary. So it means there is something which is there. Why AI is required? Any innovation, if you see any innovation, why innovation is happening? So one of my customers from British Telecom used to say, all innovations are mainly concentrating on cost reduction. If you are able to do certain thing with a cheaper rate for the same quality, and then within shorter time frame, that is the innovation every industry wants to adopt as quickly as possible. The same manner, AI is addressing all the things. It is drastically reduction of time to market. So the claims of successful projects are up to 50% you can reduce the time because code is generated, testing is done in a generated way, and then it is going to production. Agents are taking care of all the regular work. So the claim is 50% of the time. If it is taking 3 years, it can be completed in 1.5 years. Operational efficiency with leaner team. In development projects, believe me, it is very heavy people. So you need a lot of experienced people, and then you need a lot of people. Everybody or somebody, most of you will be knowing what is ICICI mobile app or SBI mobile app, or HDFC mobile app. And then these apps will be looking very simple, working with the hand. But recently for SBI, 2 projects where I got, TCS was delivering, we were working with 600 to 800 people at different time. To create a small app like this, we used to involve 800 people. So that is the complexity and then where people are getting involved. But with the AI introduction, definitely, do we need that kind of a team? Definitely, the expectation is it's going to reduce, and then we are seeing the reduction in some of the projects. Lowering technical barrier. The technical barrier means what? For doing this kind of a project, especially legacy transformation, if somebody wants to, today still 20% of the systems are running in IBM, 20-25%, especially in banking, insurance, retail, etc. If somebody has to change that one from legacy to modern application, getting people who knows that business behind those systems is very rare. And then no documentation will be available, what is changed, we don't know. So how I will be able to get all the things business requirement documented and then converting them into modern. Sometimes we will be successful, sometimes the failure rate of legacy modernization projects are very high because we don't have people who know the business. But if you are using AI should be able to extract the business rules, algorithms, etc. from the existing code and then give you in a beautiful documented way. Then afterwards, only very few people are required to review it. So technical barrier is not there, and then we are able to use that one to our advantage. The IT infrastructure saving. The IT infrastructure saving, one side I'm going to talk that AI is going to take a lot of IT infrastructure, etc. But here, why I am telling is the infrastructure used for a mainframe projects or the legacy projects are very costly, and then it is pay per user model, and then how much you are using, IBM will charge. So that money is very high, but if you are able to do that conversion, you can use cloud, AWS or Google or whatever it is, and then your I want my own screen, my own application, and my own amount. You see Netflix, you see Amazon, and then you see even if you are saying anything, Chrome or Safari, whatever you are saying, probably related content will automatically throw to you. Facebook, for example, Netflix. If you are saying one kind of a movie, that kind of a movie will automatically be promoted to you. The same manner, Amazon, if you are trying and looking for something to buy, similar items will be projected to you, so that you should be able to select. So the personalization of the selling, personalization of the customer experience is more and more expected. For that AI will be more useful. So these are all the top 5 points why people are going for AI. Then if that is the case, why POC is hard? 80% fail to scale, as I already told. Integration challenges. If you are creating an AI project, the project will be there at one side, but you'll be having a main application, ERP, building, CRM, running in still in some legacy system. But unless you are able to integrate, you are not going to get the value of that project. Data issues, because 80% of the effort is data in AI. Data cleaning, data ingestion, data analytics, ETL, ELT, all the things are there. But ultimately, whatever, and the data used for training the model, data is used for testing, data is used for processing whatever the business process we have to do. So if the data is wrong, they're having problem. Generally, they'll be in hurry, and then models will be trained with lesser data in the lab. When you go to production, it will be different. Adoption gaps, because it's always a fear that the AI is going to take away the job. That will prevent the users or the company employees to use the AI system. So that adoption gaps, cultural changes are very important. So organizational, strategic, and data-related hurdles, only 20% are successful, 80% are fail. So this is, I like this. This is created by AI. I only gave the prompt, and then this gives a crust of what we are going to discuss. In POC, it is 97% accuracy, small data, happy team, and then everything is fine. It is going to production. When it goes to production, you are getting into a lot of issues: data pipeline issue, infrastructure issue, security compliance, monitoring, stakeholders want some changes, to change management. All the things are coming when it is going to production. It is not ending there, my dear. The problem is it is going outside. After deployment also, if you see, you are having model drift, high cost, latency spike, data quality issues, integration nightmares, stakeholder expectation, change request. All these things are having problem, and then those things to be addressed. How we will be addressing, how the company, how the industry is addressing, we will be talking soon. But this is the challenge today, because AI projects are not deterministic, they are all probabilistic. So it is completely based on the design, and then the data, and then the probability model what you are using. So the challenges are more rather than a simple IT project. Simple IT project, if you're doing, it's very simple. That will be only 0 or 1. And you will be able to get the results. And then if you are not touching the code, if it is running, it will be running for. I know one guy who was working with me in Denver for US West. There was a project on Unix server, and then he has to do some maintenance of that server. And then every day he will do 1 or 2 hours that work. Afterwards, he will do something else. But that work he will do for 1 year he was doing. There was no change because they didn't do any changes. The system was used. And then these guys will run some batch operation, whether it is okay, fine, data, some small regular routine maintenance. Otherwise, it was running. But unfortunately, AA projects are not that much simple. While I'm telling about AI all the time, but big investments are happening. Only hope that now it is running in a very snail pace, and then it is going in a very slow for the moment. The moment on result, it is not happening. But soon I feel it will run like a very fast, and then we are going to get more results. So afterwards, we'll talk about AI. AI versus traditional. So as I already told, it is deterministic versus probabilistic, code versus data, static versus evolving. So this is what the major difference. I'll go to the next slide to explain little more. So if you see here, logic, deterministic, that is rule-based, results are 100% predictable. In AI-driven probabilistic, and then it is pattern-based, the results are best guesses. I don't know why it is going again and again. Not able to. Driver. What is driving the project? Code centric. All are written in code, and then code is version control, and code is used. But if you take a AI project, those are all data centric. Nature, static. The system was static. As I told you, if it is done, it is remain stable, and unless somebody is changing the code or environment, etc., it will run. Evolving. Performance changes over time as a data drift, requirement constantly tuning, and then the maintenance effort is almost equal to development effort. In any project, if you see the project when it's doing development, your effort will be more. And then when you go to production, it will reduce to 20%, 30%, 20% of the overall effort required for developing the project. But in this case, it is not reducing. And then that is one of the challenge. Even though the total effort required is 50%, but what you want for maintenance is also similar to 50%. It is not reducing. Quality is testing pass fail. So you know it's 99%, 99.9%, right? Then the system is out and it is going to production. But here it is different. It is 95% success is good. Something like that is a performance based focus on narrowing, managing a margin of error. So it is not no longer testing, finding out 0 or 1 kind of a stuff. Timeline, it is linear. So it is doing from the requirement, design, development, testing. Simple waterfall model, mainly model is used. But it is iterative in case of AI driven because continuous feedback loop is that we are going to talk about that methodology soon. So it is something that we are moving from teaching machines to enabling machines to learn. So it is something like you are teaching, but other is you are enabling something for the student to learn. So we are going to the next phase when it comes to AI. So AI projects are different. And then unless we understand that, you will not be able to solve the problems of AI projects. So this one, a lot of people would have spoken about this, so I don't want to spend much time on that. I don't know why it is moving. So because this workshop 6 days, you are going to talk about AI in healthcare. So these are all the healthcare generally projects which industry is doing. One is advanced medical imaging, virtual patient triage, precision treatment, early diagnostic and warning, operational efficiency. These are all the 5 categories where the projects are happening today in healthcare sector. So this is, I don't want to go inside here, but we were trying to do a project where for Walgreens, where Walgreens sells all the healthcare products. So we wanted to move from their IC plus or IC plus, IC plus. IC plus maintenance frame were to completely open source AI based solution where the patient which is going to come from doctor, the doctor will be having the history automatically. And then the beauty is it is attached with the locality. And then he can choose the doctor. The doctor can write the prescription. The prescription will directly go to Walgreens. And then Walgreens stop nearer to his residence. He can collect the money. And he can collect that by paying money, he can collect the medicines very easily. And then it will also predict, it will also help, and it will give it to feedback to insurance companies. It will give feedback to many other channels. Government also, if they are promoting some of the clinical trials, and then it will definitely identify the person. It will recommend the insurance. Lot of other activities and advantages of AI. It is being used in that project. And then we were able to do that. Like that, many projects are happening in the industry. But I thought putting the categorization will be helpful. So these are all the 5 categories by which healthcare projects are happening, as per my knowledge, in the industry today. So if you want to go to AI to production, AI POC to production challenges and then solution, you should understand what is AI architecture. So AI, if it projects are having typically what data, models, and then your RAG system, which is the enterprise data, which is grounded, retrieval, augmented generators, something. And then you are having agents. Agents are something like you are writing some code which will work as a person to execute what you are asking them to do. So many agents are required to do the project. Then a lot of app tools and APIs are used for monitoring the system, whether it is working fine, etc. So these are all the things. So if you take all the things, you have to do the data training and then the replenishment of data in a particular interval. A lot of large language models, small LLM and then SLM are used. And then those models have to be versioned, and then current model we have to move. And then the model in production also to be trained. That is the beauty of that. A RAG is very important. So if you're creating a RAG, and then if the documents are there, which is very old, and then you are not removing old and then putting new policy document, etc., then also you're going to have a lot of problems. Agents, definitely you will be having multiple agents, and then the models will come with the prompt also, and then prompt also to be versioned and then controlled. The agents also to be versioned and controlled, and then you will be having a lot of tools to monitor the performance of models, monitor the performance of the system, and then give early signal if any hallucinations are happening, if you're having some problem with the results, and then we're having a lot of one is hallucination. It will not get the right result what you expect. Another one is it is slow, and then it is not working properly, and then it is taking a lot of time. So like that, many problems can come. Then that monitoring is very important for that. So if we take AI architecture, it is a very heavy slide. Let me try to explain this. Think of this as how we teach and deploy intelligence in machines. It starts with UX. So here it is UX. So it starts with a user interface user, and then which is giving a data input, and then input is going to the prompt, and then the prompt is this is like framing questions properly. Just as we train students to think clearly, this one is definitely giving right questions to extract the right information from that. Then we are having retrieval augmented generation, which is completely a database, which is having the enterprise or the company related data, policies, documents, etc. And then it is stored as a vector database. And then this vector database, the prompt is addressing and then getting the data. Then it is processed by a lot of service layer, where AI generates responses, often coordinated by multiple agents working together, similar to interdisciplinary cooperation. Then we adapt and fine tune the system for specific domains like engineering, medicine, management. Like this, critically, we have governance, evaluation, and observability, ensuring the AI is unbiased, accurate, and transparent. This is completely like how that AI architecture is there. Many components are involved. When you're doing projects or a POC, you will often start with one RAG model, one prompt, and then one UX. Other things probably are loosely used so that you will be able to get one happy path result. But unless you integrate everything and then work for happy path as well as unhappy path, and then see how this can be corrected, your project will not be successful in production. So these are all the components are there, and then we should be mindful that it is having many components, and then all the components are to be monitored. So any projects, probably as a computer science or a IT faculty, you know the traditional way of defining the software development methodology. Many methodologies you would have studied, you would have taught to students about the waterfall method, agile method, DevOps, etc. But when you are doing agents are going to create code, requirement document, and then testing and deployment of code. What kind of a methodology you want to have so that your results are repeatable project after project. That is the next thing which you have to look at it when you go for a production. When you go one project, if you are doing, you can do some 3-4 heroes who are expert doing the project. Somehow they will move to production. But when you go for a IT industry kind of a stuff, when you are doing, if you take TCS where I work, 12,000 projects are there. In that 1,000 projects, even you consume it assume it is a project. All 1,000 projects we are going to do for 100 customers, say. And then the expected results is going to be success and then it should be similar. So unless you define the process, how to do a project, how to do agent-based development, you will not be able to produce the similar results. So there only the methodology definition, training people how to do the project, and then wherever they go, whichever project they are doing, they should be able to repeat the process, whatever it is taught, is very important. So if we take here SDLC is top, you're saying in the planning, requirement, system design, implementation, testing, then deployment, then maintenance. So it is something like a planning, development, planning, design, development, testing, production, deployment, and then evaluation. This is known, and then we know this cycle, and then we are familiar with this one. When it comes to agent, and then agentic development life cycle, it is something which is happening continuously in parallelly, and then the typical cycle will be goal definition. That will be done by the human being. Then the agents will build the product requirement definition. Then you will be writing what is to be design document, etc. Then agents will be built. Agents start orchestrating that, and then coding will be done automatically. Testing will be done automatically. It will happen simultaneously by multiple agents in multiple use cases. And then afterwards, there will be human intervention, the evaluation of the results, observability, etc. Then the code will be passed for development, deployment. Then monitoring and feedback is coming. So it's a loop, and then it is happening continuously. And then testing is not a separate phase anymore. It happens continuously during development. System can self-correct, replan, and adapt. So it's continuous testing. And then most importantly, humans move from doing everything to guiding, evaluating, to governing the system. These are all very important. And then unless the people think that the development and then deployment of AI projects is different from a general computer digital transformation project, you will not be able to get the maximum benefit out of it. So we talked about the AI components, and then we will slightly spend some time on what are the components are there. So it is definitely, it's having data, models, DAG, agents are very important component. So now let me explain. The most critical component of any AI system is a data layer. The data layer is a foundation of any AI system. It is responsible for collecting, storing, managing, and preparing data for AI model. AI models, all AI is data driven, and then 80% of the effort is data, I told. So data source integration is very important, and then it will come from many things: log file, JSON file, text, images, audio, all are data. Then the data will be extracted, transformed, and loaded. ETL and ELT is extraction, loading, and transformation. Sometimes depends on the type of project, type of data, we will be able to do ETL or ELT. So once it is done, then data is stored in a scalable data lakes or data house, and then you are having a vector database, the data is stored. And every time the data should be governed, and then quality of data should be ensured. And then data should be, quality means what? Data, whether it is relevant data to business is there, whether data complies to security requirements of the organization. Are we storing the credit card number? Are we storing the mobile number? Whether it is allowed. What is GDPR, European data privacy rules? If you're doing projects for them, you should do it differently. India data privacy rules are slightly different. US are slightly different. So whether it is compliant to the rules and regulations, and then whether it is compliant to the privacy requirement of the particular country, particular industry, those things are very important. That is what we call as a data quality and governance. And then data preparation and feature engineering, cleaning, transformation, labeling, or something which we have to do. And then once the data is prepared, data is used for what? Training the models. Data is used for testing. Data is used for doing code business. So the data is very important, and then these 5 steps forms major effort of a project. So if you see here, it is extraction, loading, and analysis. Pictorially represented here, and then data is from various sources is going to data collection. And then top layer is what? Application, and then middle layer is the model, bottom layer is the infrastructure. So something like that is very important for us to understand that data is very important. Data management is very important. That is why undoubtedly you guys are having discipline like AIDs, so artificial intelligence and then data science. So because why? Because data is integral part of any AI project. Then quickly I want to go through the tools for data ingestion. Tools like Apache Kafka, Fivetran, Airbyte are very useful. For the storage, we are using Snowflake, Google BigQuery, Amazon S3, etc. Transformation and preparation, we are using tools like SQL transformation, Apache Spark, AWS Glue. For orchestration, Apache Airflow and Dagstar. These are all the popular tools available in the market, and then companies are buying and using it. Some of the tools are available freely, and then you can download. The point I want to stress is activation and consumption. You're having Power BI, Tableau, and ML Flow. The point I want to emphasize here is it is not only knowing some kind of a AI, Python, Java, or project. The person who is getting into the project should know these tools also, should know how to use these tools. So they are becoming a full stack developer in the sense that not only knowing the language, not only knowing database, they should know some of these tools also. Unless they know the tools, they will not be able to do the project. So when we are telling that students are industry ready, unless unless we teach all the things, the person will not be industry ready. So industry has to take the student. It will take minimum 3 months or 4 months for them to train on all these tools and then make them all the methodology to do the project. So something like this, if you are able to left shift and then do all the things in the college, then you should be able to make your student industry ready quickly. So that is this for that understanding this kind of a tools, how to use it and all will be helpful. Again, about the models, we are having various models are there. So you are having a LLM models, we are having a SLM model with the small models, and then these models are provided something free, something it is sold as a tokens, and then it is versioning and controlling and all is very important for this kind of a market. You are having models from Google, Gemini, and then ChatGPT is providing models, and then Microsoft is providing models. Whatever is suitable for you, whatever is cheaper, or you should be able to buy it and use it. And then the token usage and all is very difficult to estimate. And then unless one guy is very good, you will not be able to estimate how many tokens are required in production, development, etc. Then prompting is very important. And then we talked about the prompt, and then prompting is nothing but giving instruction to get better out of the models. And then for that, lot of other steps are there to get right. What do you want? You should be able to tell in a proper way so that model will be able to get it. Retrieval augmented generation RAG is very, very important if you go for any production related or industry related project, because your own data, it is required to reduce the hallucination, ground the data or system output with whatever the actual data is available. So it is generally, it's a vector database is created, and then this RAG is designing a RAG is very important, so that you should be able to take out of the hallucination part of it very, very much by putting a RAG. And then specialization through fine tuning. The models are available generally, but whether you want to have the model to talk the language of mechanical or automobile or banking or insurance or healthcare, the models have to be trained so that they will be knowing the language and words used in healthcare, pharmacy, etc. I mean the model to be retrained. So that is what we call a specialization through fine tuning. And then we are having adoption, efficient adaptation. Efficient adaptation is because this is all happening, and then you are having a lot of token consumption and then infrastructure requirement. This kind of a technique will help us to fine tune parameter efficient fine tuning, etc. Low rank adaptation. This will help us to reduce the consumption of infrastructure cost or reduce the cost of infrastructure by efficiently using this adaptation models. So these are all the models, and then this is definitely a parcel and parcel, and these things are to be versioned, controlled, and then moved from one environment to another environment, development, testing, production. That is very important. I talked about the RAG, so we'll quickly go through that. RAG will be an open book method of RAG, and then that is having a vector database. The search process searches the vector database from the prompt. And then because of the AI is provided the specific text to read, answers grounded in your data, making it highly reliable. As I told, hallucination will be very less. An engineering department can upload 10 years of student thesis in lab, just an example, into vector database. Faculty can then ask AI to summarize all previous experiments involving carbon fiber stress test. So this is, if you don't have this RAG database, you will not be able to know what you have done. But if this question is asked to a LLM model or a chat GPT, they will also give some data, but that may be across internet, whatever is available. But if you want realistic and then you want to go on top, you want to look at what is in your department or within India or within some research lab of India. So those things definitely we should create as a RAG database, and then that database should be first searched to get the information what is required. So that is very important. Agents. Agents is very simple. It's a doer. So if you want, you are giving one assistant for you, and then he will do all the things for you. Previously, the business processes are there. For example, if you want to create a customer, the customer creation will be having 7 steps in telecommunication generally, and then it will be having customer getting the data about the customer, then checking whether the address is okay, then Aadhaar verification, and so on and so forth, and then connecting with billing, and then update the billing system, update the network with the numbers, mobile number, service order number, etc. So like that, for doing everything, you write a code. Now agents will be able to do that one by giving a prompt instruction, and then they should be able to do that. So that is the idea behind agents, and then agents will be doing address checking agent, billing updating agent. So if you're writing that one, that should be able to do that. Find latest pages, papers of 3D printed titanium and summarize the top 3. So if that the agent will go and search, and then agent should be able to find out and write in a format what you want, and then that is what the agents are. The agents are very important. And then now all these agents are having some super agent. So that is also one thing where one agent is there which is controlling multiple sub agents. So agentic AI is something like that. MCP is another advance which is coming, which is having a server having a lot of agents, and then the client can ask the server, and server can correctly find out which agent can do for you, and then do that. It is becoming more and more complex, the agent one. So MCP is the latest technology in that area. The languages generally it is used are Python, JavaScript, SQL, Java, etc. So I will generally skip this one, and then because you are very much familiar about this, and then Microsoft and then Google and AWS are having models, and then that is definitely used for AI. So AI projects, how it is executed. The resource can be, AI project, as I already told, they are resource can be. Unlike standard application, it requires a lot of GPU, TPU power because it is using data, and then it is using unstructured data, and that unstructured data to be searched for the right answer, you need lot of power to go through that. If it is structured data which is available in RDBMS, probably you need lesser resource, lesser time to do that. So data is 80% of the work. So you need a lot of time. Model training is very important. For that, you need a lot of data to do that. And then standard DevOps handles code, but MLOps and data versioning. So when I talk about MLOps, and then we'll cover that on in the following slide. But model ops, DevOps is the development and operation together. Probably you know about that DevOps. And then DevOps is a continuous development and continuous deployment, which is happening in the IT world today. But that is not involving data. If you look at any of the IT project, you will be moving the code. You will be having a standard, what it is called, your templated data, which is used, which is static data, which will be, for example, labels of the screens and other things. Probably a very less number of the data will be there, and then that data will be used, and then that will be kept, your error messages, etc. You can call as a data. But here, much more than that is available, and then the models have to be versioned, prompt have to be versioned. So that is what make this complicated. How many environments are required? If you do a development project in IT, how many environments are required? Complex project, I talked about SBI, I talked about Tata Motors.in, which is the website of where they are selling the cars. Those and all, if you want to do, because it is involved a lot of projects, lot of things will be happening parallelly. 7 or 8 environments are required. 2 development environment, 2 testing environment, 1 performance testing environment, 1 staging environment, like that, 1 production environment, backup environment. So like that, you will be having 7 or 8 environment. Environment means environment will be having code, data, tools, etc. So that will be used for development and then testing and production code and other things will move automatically from one stage to another. But typically in a AI project, you will be having a sandbox. We'll be having a testing and QA automated testing where you'll be having one environment. Once development is over, it will move to testing, and then testing will be automatically done, and then staging, which is the pre-production environment, and then production. The backup or DR is a disaster recovery site. If anything is happening, you should be able to recover from that. So this is typically 5 environments are required for a very core AI projects to happen. So that is fine. Typically in a development project or a support project, the roles will be like a project manager, then project leader, then module leader, then designer, then technical architect, then developer, tester, automatic tester, production support engineer, like that various roles will be there. But here, it is three-legged approach: data squad, science squad, engineering squad, like that. Squads are defined, and then that will be having data engineers, the ML researchers, and then ML of engineers, and then product managers are a legal person who will be required because we'll be using a lot of data and other things, whether it is ethics and then compliance manager, those things roles will be there. So typically it is three-legged stool approach, and then the people, and then apart from this, you will be having a management layer, a project manager, etc. Environment and deployment pipeline. DevOps tool A, orchestration, Kubernetes generally used. GitHub is used, Jenkins is used. For prompt ensuring, you are using dedicated tools platform like Maxim AI, Prompt Layer, Langsmith, or some of the tools which are used for just you'll be having hundreds of prompts. The prompt will be version, and then if you want to change any prompt, you have to go and change it. Like a code, you have to move. And then the project manager is required. Agile is used. Agile methodology is generally used for because it's a continuous development and deployment. So agile methodology is used. User stories are written and then they are stored in Jira, Azure Board, Trello, etc. Business requirements are obviously written. And then key roles like product owners and Scrum Masters are definitely there for the project, apart from the technical team, which is available. So typically, you'll get an idea of what organizational structure, what are the roles are there in AI project, what kind of environments are required, what kind of tools are required. Unless you know, how will be able to move to production? So these are all the things, understanding and then making it available are all risk mitigation so that your project will not fail because you have taken care of what is required from people, process, tools, perspective to move a project from POC to production. So that is a point I want to communicate. So why POC to production of AI projects have more failure rate? I told about 80%. Why? Poor data quality and readiness, which is very important. I talked about data. It is junk in, junk out. If you are not training your model with right data, what results you are going to get will be less. Lack of clear business use case. Often the industries will start a project just for the sake of it. Everybody is doing AI projects, I will also do AI project. But whether AI is required for you to do the project. You cannot do a project because AI is available. You should find the right use case for doing the project. So the clear business case is very important for us to do. Infrastructure and scaling bottlenecks. So I already talked about that. Organization often underestimate computing power, storage, latency requirement. A model that hits 80% accuracy in testing can drop to 60% in production. So model accuracy is very important. What is model accuracy? A model is where you are asking prompting question. Whatever your question you are asking, the result should be right for the business context. Second, if it is not, it should be right every time. It is not right for one time, second time it is giving another answer. So it is right and then right every time. That is accuracy. And then over the period of time in production, it can go to 60%. If your infrastructure is not right, not sufficient, it is going to impact the accuracy. If accuracy is not impacting, nobody is going to use AI. Why AI is still having a lot of hesitant to deploy and then accept, especially if we take healthcare. Healthcare projects are touching the human being. When it is touching the human being, if you're using AI to analyze and then understand whether somebody is having cancer or not, or whether it is having blocks or not. If you want to analyze by using AI, if the results are not, even 1% if it is failing, nobody will use AI. So how to make the results accurate and every time it is accurate is very important for that infrastructure and scaling bottlenecks are to be addressed. Resource and talent gap. AI requires cross-functional team. Because you are going to reduce with 50% of the team, the person should be all-rounder, a full-stack developer. They should know ML, they should know data science, business owners. They should be knowing database, they should be knowing AI, they should be knowing models. They should be able to do all the work in developing. So that is very important for us to create that kind of a full-stack developer. It's very important. Undefined success metrics, which is very important, which is whether we can define a success metrics for a product. What kind of a success metrics will be there? What kind of a business metrics is there? What kind of accuracy we should be having? For example, how much time the model is predicting correctly whether the person is having cancer, whether it is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, or whether it is something. My daughter is working in one company. She is a biotechnologist. So they are creating a project for 4 years. That will definitely, that it is supposed to identify by using blood cell test, checking the blood test. That product should be able to find out what kind of a cancer, whether it is what stage, etc. They are creating some product. They're doing for 3 years. Still, it is not getting approved because that much accuracy is required before releasing any product because it is handling with human being. So even if you are taking any bank or insurance, everybody accuracy is their bank is just dealing with money. So if you are having your accuracy 99%, even $1 if you are not doing rightly, collecting and rightly paying, your system is doomed. So this accuracy is very important for that. We have to define the metrics, and then whenever you are doing a training of the model, you should check whether it is coming. Not only training, you should do retrain also. When it goes to production also in a proper interval, the model should be tested and then give whether they are giving the right metrics every time when we are testing is very important. So these are all the failure rate, and then I try to see what are all the medications also. So you would have heard about ML ops and LLMs and production support. when we are talking about. In simple terms, we are dealing with two types of AI system. MLOps is for traditional machine learning models like fraud detection, scoring system, where the focus is mainly on managing data and keeping track of model version. So it is very uh, model and then model version. On the other hand, what is LLM ops? LLM ops is bigger, and then it is probably, according to me, ML ops is subset of LLM ops. LLM ops are modern AI system like large language model, where focus shifts to designing effective prompts and continuously improving the responses. Human feedback also. So the difference is traditional AI is data plus model, while generative AI is plus prompt and feedback generate. So it is a model and feedback and prompt, everything if you are doing it is LLM ops. Only model and data you are doing it is ML ops. That is what I would say that. And production support pillars, what are all the pillars of production support? Continuous monitoring. I talked about continuous monitoring many times, which is very much required. ServiceNow and all is giving very good tools for continuously monitoring. Drift management. Drift means what? Drift means fall. Fall of what? Fall of accuracy of the model. And then the model accuracy can go down because of the input changes, because of the relationship changes. The data and then model to model connectivity. And then if anything is changing in the environment, and then you should be very careful so that if the data, for example, your data pattern of health of a person in insurance, your model think that the insurance can be given some incentive or reduction in the health insurance if the person is having this kind of a parameter. He is doing exercise, he is not a smoker, he is not alcoholic, and then you are connecting that person's Apple Watch or their exercise data you are getting. And then if we are getting all the things, it is happening. It is not in Australia we did a project, or in Thailand I think we did a project where by getting all this information, his insurance is calculated and then some incentive is given. Even though he is 35 years, he has to get this insurance because he is having a good way to maintain the health, and then he is health conscious, he is running, walking, etc. So if that is the model is going to analyze and then suggest some insurance, something is happening, and then you are having some COVID or something is happening, some big type of disease is coming, and then some changing pattern is happening. That the data, unless it is trained, it is going to give the same insurance, but other ecosystem changes, it is not going to take it into consideration. So updating the data regularly is very important. Otherwise, data drift will happen, accuracy will reduce, hallucination will happen. Model retraining, right? Automated triggers to refresh the models. So I talked about model retraining, and the model retraining is automatically it is happening. But at what frequently it has to do, that has to be decided based on various parameters, industry to industry. Prompt versioning, the prompts are like a code, and then the prompt should be version. If you are leaving the prompt without versioning, you will be having a lot of hallucination, because some people will touch the code as part of the prompt, as part of the development. Some people may touch the prompt as part of the production support. Then your results will be varied. So prompt also to be versioned and controlled. So this is something, if you're going to production, you should take care of continuous monitoring, drift management, model retraining, and then prompt versioning. If you are able to take it, then probably the failure after moving to production will be less. So you're having popular tools. I talked about the tools which are used during development, but when you go to production, this is also Horizon Y Labs for monitoring data quality, Galileo for specially detecting, Langsmith and Prompt Layer for versioning, MLflow, weights and biases for tracking. MLflow is generally used, Langsmith is generally used. I've seen projects using that. Docker and Kubernetes is used for infrastructure and automation. GitHub is used. Jenkins is widely used. Jenkins and for project governance, Jira is used where use cases, business requirements are documented. Azure boards are there where you'll be able to track how much use cases are developed, tested, moved to production, etc. So, as I already told, this is very important for us to understand the tools also, because without tools, doing projects is very difficult to do. So why the projects are failing after going to production? I talked about the model drift. I talked about lack of monitoring and observability, adoption of gap and culturalism. So even technically perfect tools, I told you, if the person is fear of losing job, you will not use it. So that is why it is that. Escalating the operational cost. The cost of running AI projects can be 5 to 10 cents higher than the cost of building it. I told you, because the models and tokens costs are very high. And then runway token usage and infrastructure demands can make the project financially unsustainable. So very important for us to today, whether the AI projects are making money is no, because the cost is very high. But I believe that over the period of time, when we are having more and more projects, infrastructure cost is going to go down. It is something like a telephone. When we were using initially mobile phone, the charges for every call is very high. Today, we are getting almost for free. So something like that, infrastructure cost, my belief, it's going to go down when more and more people are adopting, and the models will become more efficient so that they are using lesser infrastructure. Security and compliance rate. Implementation of failure to implement kill switches, safety guardrails can lead to reputational damages and regulatory penalties. So I talked about GDPR and privacy and compliances in the previous slides. And then unless it is taken care here, definitely more than the AI, the human intervention and human intelligence is very much important, so that the person will be able to control and see that the system, whatever is designed and developed and production deployed, are GDPR compliant. If it is for UAA Act, etc., Hero project, and then India data privacy rules and regulation compliant if it is Indian projects, which is used for the central government, state government, or private companies. So we are coming to the final. Hello. I have two more slides. Can I complete it?
Okay.
Sir, yes, sir. If someone is unknowingly unmuted, you can
That's
continue.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. So I hope, because I'm not saying you, I'm talking about online. Generally, I'm not very much comfortable because I'm not getting your reaction. Hopefully, the whatever I'm talking makes sense for you people. If you are having any questions, you can ask after a few slides, and I will answer. Otherwise, you can put a question. I can give an answer offline also for you. So risk and mitigation of AI transformation project, data security, model reliability, technical depth, model depth, AI accuracy dropping as real world data changes over time. And then cyber security. So which is a prompt injection, users tricking AI into bypass safety filters. Trust compliance. Black box logic, inability to explain why an AI made a specific decision. Project failure. These are all a risk category. And then danger of risk is given. What is the mitigation is also given. So for example, if we take trust and compliance, explainable AI use tools like Sharp, LM, Lime to provide reasoning audit trail. So audit trails are very important to maintain and you go for a product to production. Because if any audit happens, and then you want to find out if anything is wrong in the project, your audit trails will definitely help. So these are all the things we are talking at the risk at the operational level. The next risks are strategic level. Leadership, lack of expertise executive sponsorship. For example, AA project is started by some IT person who is working in the corner and having some few systems. He is not getting an executive sponsorship. He will not be able to do the project. Second thing, because it is requiring a lot of enterprise level support for compliance, risk management, and then legal management, and then data to get the data, everything. Unless it is sponsored by a CXO level person, getting the project successful is very difficult. That is why whenever we are signing a project like this, we used to say that there should be an executive sponsor, should be the business unit head or the senior vice president of the company or the CIO of the company, something like that. So, and then it's having, you would have seen, it involves a lot of technology, lot of tools. If I know some technology tool, I will deploy. If somebody else knows some technology and tool, they will deploy. So that is why these companies are having some kind of a technology advisory board. The board selected tools and technology only you will use. Otherwise, you will not be able to continue the project, which is required as a mitigation because if everybody started using 5 AA projects are happening, are using 5 different tools, and then their software, their license cost, their exposure, risk exposure, those things will be very big and haunting the whole company. So these are all the allowed tools, these are all the allowed technology, programming languages you can use. That can be only decided at the technology advisory board. So that is very important. User resistance, fear of job replacement. And then we have to do a lot of training. We have to train the people in AI. We should be able to ensure that the job is not going for you. Even if it is going, it is fact that some of the jobs are going, but you can go to different role change and then you can train and do it. So which is very important for the adoption of AI. Over reliance on AI, risk of blind trust. For example, AI is doing how much work? Whether the work, whatever is doing, is reliable, repeatable, accurate. So generally today we are seeing only hybrid. Hybrid means what is that AI will do 40%, men will do 60%. That is what we are seeing accuracy hybrid. So generally to avoid the risk, people are going 80-20 or 60-40, like human versus AI system which is doing the work. Cost explosion, I talked about that, hardware budget, and then cost exploration is very important. But we have to have a correct monitoring, correct estimate, and then token. Definitely a lot of buffer is required because a lot of unknown will be there. Here only most of the projects are failing according to my knowledge. And then the cost will be very high, and then management loss got automatically. Why do you want this AI? Can you not do with the regular technology and tools because it is consuming a lot of money. So we should have some kind of explanation. Return on investment is very important for any project. Open source reliability, unvetted tools. I talked about it. It is a technology advisory board is required, and then the board will build the frameworks, etc. Lack of governance. So that is very important. No clear rules on who owns AI data, ethics, decisions. So for that, we should have a policy that in TCS, 2 years took for TCS to define the policy, and then who is owning AI, tools, data, ethics. And then today AI policies are there. If any internal AI projects, not customer policy. Internally, TCS is having many enterprise systems because it's having, I say, $40 million, and then we are having enterprise system, we are having 6 lakh people. So there are things to be taken care of. So for that, probably the world largest Oracle implementation, Ultimatics is one platform, and then we're having other enterprise systems. So if you want to replace with the AI, how to do that? So to write that one, and then what kind of tools we can deploy within TCS network. It took 2 years for us to write the policy document, so which is very important for anybody to write it. Skills imbalance. As I already told, it is not a question of how many years of experience you are having. What kind of expertise you are having is very important. And then expertise people are required because many of the repeated jobs, we are seeing that AI will do. So which is very important for us to understand and deploy people accordingly. Finally, we are having AI enterprise transformation. Because AI project cannot be done in one corner. It is ERP, CRM integration is required to get the right data, change management, and then people process technology is required. So enterprise-wise changes are not happening means AI projects cannot be successful. So for that, what to do? In engineering terms, we are moving from localized sensors to a centralized data bus. If the data is fragmented, the model developers and blind spots can happen. We can't build a robust system if the mechanical data doesn't talk to the electrical data. Simple example is if you're having data, you're getting data from one system, which is customer data, but you are not getting the usage or your consuming button. If you're having something like whatever is the billing done, and then generally how much is the usage of this customer, and then bill generated against this customer. If all data is not available, you will not be able to get it. If you are having bits and pieces of data, you will not be able to get and then give the good customer experience and then provide what the customer wants by using AI. So we need a big thing where we are having unified data pipeline to create. So for that, enterprise data should be monitored and transformed into a data lake and then data warehouse, which can be used for model training, model usage, etc. So we did a project for the Bank of America where first, before moving to AI, because they were having data in multiple databases, multiple systems, multiple servers, it was not connected and working on silos. They created a big data lake and then data warehouse by integrating data. It is not one-time integration. The integration is a real time. So the data in every system will go to this one as a replication or a digital twin. So Bank of America project, a very massive project, and then we did similar project for the Reserve Bank of India also, where from every bank all the data transactions are coming in a multiple form, but they wanted to have uniform where data will be connected, data analysis can be done. So that was a big project. So data is the big project more than a AI model. First, data creation, which can be used for various purposes, very important. So logic to probabilistic is the another one. So this is the hardest cultural hurdle. We are moving from Boolean logic because everything true or false in an IT world. And this stochastic reasoning. We have to teach our team that 95% confidence error is not a fail. But in real IT world, 99.99 is the failure, 100% is a success. But in AI model, 98% is fair enough. And then it should be requiring human oversight and validation. For example, you are doing a project where you are having a lot of trouble tickets, or the tickets are generated against the system, and then it is system generated or the human generated. But the systems are to be classified as L1, L2, L3, L1 ticket, L2 ticket, L3 ticket, or the tickets to go to this department to solve. Generally, a call center agent, full people will be sitting and then they will be doing this classification. But after AI, this can be done completely automatic. And then this human being, instead of human being, agents can look at these tickets, whichever is coming, and then it can grade it like L1, L2, L3, and then move it to the right department for them to address it. But that will have a lot of failures, lot of thing. You cannot replace 100 people doing this work overnight. So you'll be having 2 years, 3 years program where you will be reducing one by one, slowly, but still you'll be having human being to oversight whether this classification is okay, routing is okay, take sample, etc. That is very important for us to do, so that 90% accuracy is good, and then 5% is a failure that should be taken care of by the human being. So that is the idea behind this probabilistic model, and then human oversighting this kind of application is very important. And then we are hiring domain experts is very important. The professors and engineers who understand the physics of the problem to work alongside the data scientists is very important. And then your structure of the team, that is with three-legged model of organization structure is required. And then industrial scale infrastructure, I talked about it, I don't want to talk about that again and again, which is infrastructure design, infrastructure prediction, infrastructure budgeting, all the things are very important. System risk governance establishes algorithmic accountability into your AI scale. So it is something like a risk governance, which is very important for us to do that. So this is all the things which will make the enterprise-wide SaaS transformation. When computer banks moved from manual to a core banking system, bank went through complete transformation. When reservation system, we used to do manually railway ticket reservation, went through the computer-based reservation, completely changed the entire railway department. Bank department got completely changed when core banking was introduced. When HDFC and ICICI came with this kind of a core banking model, it was a huge success. So the transformation is enterprise-wide transformation is required. For that, integrated data architecture, logic to probabilistic shift, structural talent realignment, industrial scale infrastructure, systematic risk governance, these are all very important. And then if anybody, if they are prepared to do that one first and then go for AI, the AI project will be successful. So AI success rewiring the organization, not just the software. That is what the concluding remark I want to do. AI is not a transformation. Scaling is hard and continuous life cycle. It is not one-time transformation. It is a continuous life cycle change. If you are able to appreciate that, I think I made the presentation for the topic which I intended to talk. Thank you. Is there some
Thank you.
questions?
Thank you very much, sir, for the highly informative and insightful session. It was truly enriching to learn about the transition from POC to production and the practical challenges and solutions related to ADLC and drift management. I now invite the participants to ask their questions, if any. Participants, if you have any queries, you can clarify with the resource person.
There is one question in the asked in that chat box. For an IoT product like AIML, implementation where no cloud services are used and all trading and processing happen on the premises within the building, what challenges can be expected and what would be the best infrastructure option for a such setup? So somebody has asked, Rosh Shabir, somebody has asked. So typically this is, we did a project which is a smart city implementation for Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, probably you guys could have read that they're creating a separate city, which is on the sea. And then they want to bring all what is best in the world there. And then but there we were supposed to create some AI projects. But the challenge was, it is not only in-premises servers, no cloud and all, but no internet also. So there will not be any internet, only internet will be available. And then you have to do the projects. Because if you use anything like Kubernetes or JSON or any today, any tools you take, the continuous update and internet connection is required for us, otherwise it's difficult for us to do that. So this project is a challenge where we need to do everything within the premises. So what we did is only one server connected to internet that will get an update of all the tools and processes, whatever we were using. And then that one will replicate in the night all the updates to the other servers, whatever is used for development, testing, and production. So by having this workaround, we are able to do, after all, in premises or the cloud, it is possible. But if you take as the models, say Google is providing, AWS is providing, everybody is providing model, and that model is used. If you don't want to do that, there are ways by which you can create model and then deploy in your premises and then use it. The problem is, if it is generative models, the model updates, because model has to be trained, model has to be updated with various features. That will be a problem. For that, the solution like whatever I told can be used. What is the next question? Which journal is applicable for publishing paper in healthcare application? Probably I am not a person who can answer this. Probably you can, I can come back to you with the paper offline. But other sessions, some doctors are there, some healthcare specialist page, they should be able to answer that one. Otherwise, I'll come back. What is the other one? Excellent program, really need of the hour. Okay, thank you.
So there is another question in the chat box. Give suggestion for the best practice is standalone LLM built for health solutions. Whether any standalone brings privacy.
That is the question. I'm not able to see that.
About the journal question.
Give suggestion and best practices for a standalone LLM model built for health solution. Whether the standalone brings privacy. Definitely standalone. We can't say standalone brings privacy, but it is secured, and then it is not having impact from the outside world. And then if you are doing something for your company, which is very sensitive area you are working. For example, you are doing some research, you are doing some patent creation. If you are doing some product or a pharmacy product, your formulation you are trying. For that and all, generally, if it is there internet, it will be a problem. So people will be using something which is within that premises, and then the models are deployed within the company, and then the company uses the model. Today, these models are available for you to deploy, and then today models are available industry specific, healthcare specific, insurance specific, banking specific, and then that can be given. So I can come back to you on a specific model which can be deployed. I'll come back to you on the model name, specific model name. Anything else? I don't recollect. In which agency we can get funding?
So there's about that the same person asked about how to get an R&D proposal in this domain. In which agency we can get funding? Both questions are asked by same person.
How to get an R&D proposal in this domain? I don't understand this question. If you are having an R&D proposal, we can take it to the right person for funding. A lot of venture capital funding is available today for AI. Government of India itself is giving a lot of fund. Probably you would have heard or you would have watched about the AI conference happened in Delhi. And then that Delhi is arranged for selecting 20 entrepreneurs to give 20 lakhs each minimum for their project. So I was part of the juries to select the project as part of the ITEL. So I know that happened. So like that, many agencies are there who are ready to spend. For example, where I am starting the strategic advisor for Vikram Sarabhai AI Lab, they are also looking for the people there. They are doing funding, they are providing environment. Even they are providing professors from IIT who can guide them to make the product success. So many such things are there. So if you are having anything you want to talk offline, we can do it. Okay. Can we close it? If no more questions are there. Hope guys you really enjoyed this. It is not that one day it will going to hit like a regular project, but today it is having only baby steps, and then a lot of things are having challenges in moving a project to production. With that, I want to thanks.
Thank you, sir,
Thank you.
for patiently addressing all the queries and for sharing your expertise with us. On behalf of everyone present here, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for taking time to deliver such a valuable session. I also request all participants to kindly fill out the feedback form shared in the chat box. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Thank you all for your active participation. Let us continue this learning journey in the upcoming session. Our next session will begin shortly. Please stay tuned here. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Good afternoon to all the respected dignitaries, resource persons, and dear participants. I warmly welcome you all to the second section of today's Faculty Development Program. I hope you found the earlier sections insightful and engaging. We now move forward to another exciting and highly relevant topic, AI applications in healthcare, case studies, tools, and implementation. Artificial intelligence is rapidly transforming the healthcare sector by enabling early diagnosis, improving treatment outcomes, optimizing hospital operation, and supporting clinical decision making. Understanding real world case studies, tools, and implementation strategies is crucial for researchers and practitioners alike. I'm confident that this session will provide valuable practical insight into the application of AI in healthcare. It's my great pleasure to introduce our esteemed resource person for this session. Dr. Berla brings over 22 years of rich industry experience along with 80 years in training and human resource development. He has a strong academic background, holding an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, an MTech in AI and data science, and a law degree from Osmania University. He has held several important positions, including marketing manager at ITC and AP Paper Mills in India, marketing director at Pan Paper in Kenya, and has also served as a principal and a director in academic institution. His expertise spans across product development, process improvement, research, and HR training, making him a highly versatile professional. Dr. Berla is a recipient of the Best Trainer and Best Teacher awards and has contributed to academia by guiding PhD and MPhil scholars. We are truly honored to have such an experienced professional with us today. Let us warmly welcome Dr. V. Berla. The next another person is Dr. S. Shiva Priyanka, completed her BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering from JNTU Anantapur, MTech in Embedded System from Pignan University, and earned her PhD from NIT, Warangal. Her research focuses on adaptive beamforming algorithms for speech enhancement, contributing to advancements in artificial intelligence applications in healthcare and agriculture. Dr. Priyanka has published 50 research works, including journal papers, conference proceedings, book chapters, and patents. She has presented her work at prestigious institutions like NTU, Singapore, IIC, Bangalore, IIT, Kanpur, etc. Her research interests including signal processing, AI for healthcare, and agriculture application. Currently, she is working as assistant professor at CBIT Hyderabad. We are delighted to have her with us today. Let us warmly welcome Dr. S. Shiva Priyanka. We are indeed too privileged to have both our distinguished speakers with us today. Without further delay, I request Dr. B. Berla and Dr. Shiva Priyanka to kindly take over the section and share their valuable insight. Thank you, sir and madam. Over to you.
Thank you, madam. That's a fabulous introduction, which we don't deserve. We are teachers, basically. We are, down to earth people. I've changed from industry to academics out of passion for contributing to the society, uplifting the downtrodden people. So we have given 15,000 people below the poverty line. We brought
Barla
them
sir, your
and
video is
given
off.
them employment. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah,
Can you hear
audible.
me?
Now video is fine.
My video is
Yes,
also
yes.
on.
Yes, proceed, please.
Yeah. That name is the previous institution name. I'm not able to change it. Anyway, so we have brought a lot of below poverty line people into the MNC employment. Therefore, I switched over from industry to academics. And today I'm taking AI ML out of what I've seen during my MTech and my current PhD in digital security. I'll be essentially addressing the question of why and how AI ML is replacing jobs. What is the solution for this? This is a question which is bothering most of us. A lot of IT guys are worried about this. I'll be giving some thoughts, not solutions, but some thoughts into this, which might culminate into real world solutions. To my mind, if AI replaces 1 lakh jobs, AI can create 10 lakhs jobs. But the question is, the kind of jobs which AI will create are not the jobs which we are doing today. We are used to teaching, but if AI replaces a teacher, for example, Indus International School in Bangalore, they have introduced robotic teachers. What the teachers are doing there in Indus International School, I was talking to them yesterday, is a blend of AI and human. As of now, the transition is a blend of AI and human. That's how the Indus International School, AI will come and teach the rudiments and skeletons, flow charts, and things, but the teacher will give the feel factor. Because AI do not have certain human parameters which only humans have. The common sense. The human factors, our sixth sense, our ability to feel, our ability to love, affection, creative thinking. There are so many other human feel factors, there are other things which, so the jobs will be designed around the exclusive abilities of human beings, which AI humanoids need to blend. So our jobs will move into those dimensions, and we should figure out what are the jobs where common sense is extraordinarily utilized. I'll give you an example. If I go to agricultural farm, I would get the workers do about 2 acres of plantation. But my father, who is 75, 80 years old, not educated, never gone to any school, if he goes to the farm, he would get 6 acres planted. There is some education which has happened to him during his experience, during his life, which we have not been able to capture into books and then offer. That's where the limitation of education is coming. So we would have to redesign our curricula, redesign our jobs using the human factors which are exclusive to humans and not and are aligned to these humanoids or AI machines. So that is the preamble or the opening remarks which I'd like to give. Before I go into a lot of people have talked about AI ML, and if I talk again the same thing, it'll be a repetition or redundant. So I would like to offer my comments, which are only unique to me, which I have created. I'd like to share those thoughts with you about AI/ML, and then later on we can discuss, and then we can question answer, and then we can create something more meaningful. My question is, what is AI at all? Artificial and intelligence. Artificial is what has been made by man, not by God. Everything which is made by man is artificial. Everything what is made by God is a nature. It is not artificial. There's so much in nature which we are still trying to explore, learn, create it in the body as the body of science. So maybe we would have explored some 1% of the nature so far, but then there's a huge unexplored potential in the nature which the man is ever trying to uh, explore and create, and then make it more and more artificial. So the first word is artificial, which is man-made. Now, when you come to artificial intelligence, what we have done is we have created a machine or a network which is similar to the neuron network which is available in the human brain. Human brain consists of trillions of neurons, and those neurons are networked. Each neuron is like a compact disk. Olden days we used to have CD on which you can write information and you can retrieve information. Assume the neuron to be a compact disk. If I can create a similar neuron digitally, and then if I can network those neurons, I have created an artificial human brain. Simply, that is what has been done in the AI. Before the birth of AI, people have thought about creating artificial neuron, which is called as perceptron. 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 Perceptron is an artificial neuron. And maybe some books have added the network also into that. Let's say a network of neurons. If I give input A and if I give input B and join them at a node and have some logic or comparison in that node to yes or no, short or long, to do or not to do, kind of decisions, and then the output will be accordingly, and again it's fed into the next perceptron, and so on. The millions of the natural language, and that's how if the answers are not satisfying, again they are fed back. Again, all this is available in my pictures, which Dr. Priyanka will share it to the audience. In fact, she will hand over the PPT to Dr. Sojan Lal sir and team, and then our participants can take all those things, because I don't want to enthrall you by showing those pictures and colorful things. But I'd like to really get across to the concepts. So we are talking about the neuron, an artificial neuron, a perceptron, which is the beginning of the revolution of AI. So we have created a neuron and began the artificial creation of the artificial information processing and so on. Now, my next question is, what is intelligence? In the common parlance, intelligence is if a guy is intelligent, we will say that he has a lot of knowledge, he can answer queries very fast, and there's nothing which he doesn't know. We think that is the measure of intelligence. But that was, in the old economy, that was how the intelligence was being visualized, and we created the 20th century computers based on that. Okay, those computers are becoming obsolete now because they cannot process the zillions and trillions of information, which now I think Priyanka is showing some slides which which I can't. But then first slide, madam, you can go into the first slide, and yeah, that's how the neurons are networked. Somewhere down, you will find a neuron, a human neuron. You can show that to the audience. Just slide it down. You will find a neuron somewhere. That is what you would like to show now. Further, when you go down, Yeah, parts of a neuron. It is how the human biological neuron looks like that. It has a lot of, links where the information from all the five senses of human perception, goes into the mind. So that is captured and then it is processed. And so that's how now when you come to artificial neuron or a perceptron, it is input, process, and output. Input, process, and output. I don't know if the next slide would show that. Let's see if, madam, no, still on it's a natural neuron. But then the next one, yeah, this way we're trying to make the perceptrons. You see on the left side, you find inputs. The yellow dots are the nodes which are processing, and then you have the outputs and so on. So that's how it has been created, the artificial neuron. But the current question, my question is about the intelligence. Intelligence in the language of computer science. These are my thoughts. You see, I've written MTech examination, MTech computer science, MTech AI ML examination without reading books. I'm a guy who creates information by myself. Therefore, these are the ideas which I've created myself. Now, according to my perception, intelligence has got two components: learning and thinking. Learning and thinking is called intelligence. I'm defining learning and intelligence in this way because I would like to connect it to the perceptron. Then perceptron will be able to process my information. That's why I have broken it down into learning and thinking. Now, what is learning? As a kid, what I used to do, or when I went to NIT Warangal, what I used to do is I used to note down the information which is dealt by the faculty, note it down, understand, and then rewrite in the examination. In other words, what I was doing, or the computers of 20th century have done is reading the data, analyzing the data, and reflecting the data. Reading, analyzing, and reflecting. This is what the computers of 20th century, even now, beginning of 21st century, are doing. If you feed data, it will process and then it will give back. That's what, but these computers had no brain, had no power of thinking. Now the time has come to design thinking machines because I want to go to moon in the morning and come back in the evening. From Kottayam to New Delhi, I want to go in the morning and come back within same day. The, the needs of human beings are becoming different compared to earlier times. Earlier times, man had lived in a particular pace. Accordingly, technologies were invented according to the needs of the mankind. But the current needs are different. We want to build colonies on Mars. Elon Musk is already declared, I want to build colonies on Mars. I want to go to moon in the morning and come back in the evening, which is taking 6 months as of now. So if I want to design those kind of things, I need machines which work at the speed of. Unless I have machines which work at the speed of light, I would not be able to, and the current machines are unable to process information at the speed of light. This is where the need has arisen. Because the need was there, we are trying to design machines which are capable of we have talked about artificial intelligence, we talked about machine learning, deep learning, which Priyanka madam is trying to show. All those things on screen, they're coming because, machine learning, what is deep learning? That is too academic for me, which was already explained by learned faculty earlier. But then I would be talking about the basics so that the audience which are intelligent, which can take it to further next level. So learning is reading information, processing information, reflecting information, which students are doing, computers are doing, all of us are doing so far. Now thinking has got another the intelligence has got another component which I said is thinking. Now the question is, what is thinking? If I tell a kid, a small kid, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, and come back after 1 week, and what I ask, what is 1 plus 2, 1 plus 1, the child would say 2. If the child can say, 2 can be made by 100 minus 98 also, 4 minus 2 is also 2, 3 minus 1 is also 2. There are million ways of making it 2. That child which says 2 can be made in many other ways, not only 1 plus 1, that child is thinking. We are not used to thinking. We are not at all trained in thinking. Unfortunately, when I asked questions to my parents or my gurus, when I was a 5-year-old child, why the sky is blue or why the earth is round, they asked me to shut up and sit down quietly. When I was told that, I answered myself, oh, in this world, I should not question. I should not put a question. I should not think. My job is to note down what is there on the blackboard, process it, memorize it. If possible, try to understand the meaning of it, discuss, and then write examinations and get A plus grade. This is what students have been doing because thinking was stopped. When you joined a bachelor degree, you have not asked what is the meaning of bachelor. You only know that bachelor means an unmarried fellow. You would never know the meaning of BCom or BSc or MBBS unless on the first day of your college you have asked what is bachelor. Then the teacher would go to Oxford Dictionary. Teacher would find that bachelor means a person who's understood basics. Number 2, bachelor means a person who's unmarried. So therefore, those kind of very small things, very basics, we have forgotten to ask. We have forgotten to ask. This is what a machine is trying to learn now. You see, Dr. Priyanka is showing machine learning slides. The machine is trying to learn. All right. Now, how the child has been able to say 3 minus 1 is also 2, which was not told to her. So thinking is creating patterns or facts which are not ordinarily visible in the data. So far, my computers are telling what is visible in the data, but I want computers which can visualize what is not there and then tell me. So my limited understanding and my limited definition of thinking is creation of unavailable facts from the available data. This is what the computers are doing. Okay, the more and more networks we add, we are calling them as LLMs, we are calling them as deep learning, and you give whatever kind of names. Okay, agentic AI. Okay, in other words, machines which can operate by themselves without human intervention. They can put questions themselves, answer themselves, self-operating machines, agentic AI, and so on. But I would like to really go back to the questions of the basic ones as to how do we create unavailable facts out of available data. This is the question of this is the question now. I'll tell you a case study. Here I will just pause and take you to a case study of my real life example. Again, I always talk about case studies. I was attending a seminar on Newton, long back, Newton's laws and physics. The seminar was going on, and he was also talking about Einstein's theory of relativity and so on. Somewhere down the lane, he wrote on the blackboard, it was blackboard those days, E is equal to mc square. He explained it so nicely how Einstein had really arrived at this formula after so many iterations, so many, he would have spoiled 100 sheets of paper before he had formulated E is equal to mc square. Energy is equal to mass into square of speed of light. Now, that is over, and then there was a question and answer. So anybody have any questions, please? Nobody had any questions. I was the only fellow who rose hand. I said, sir, is this formula correct? Everybody was zapped. What is this question you're asking? Then I kept on insisting. I was like a child. I want to know whether it is correct or not, where it is correct. If at all it is correct, is it correct on the moon or in nanosphere, stratosphere, or on the earth? Because C is defined in the vacuum. Speed of light is defined in the vacuum. Therefore, this formula will not be valid in my classroom or in the seminar hall or on moon or in the sun. This formula should be valid only in the vacuum tube because the C is defined in vacuum tube. I was able to ask this question because I was visualizing the assumptions and the meanings of these terminologies which are incorporated. I did that trouble of going through the inner meanings of these terminologies instead of accepting E is equal to mc square as it is, noting down and then writing the examination. I would never do that. I questioned everything. So everybody came in fight with me and there was discussion, and then Vice Chancellor was also there. Then, भाई क्या बोलना चाहते हो? Professor Suleiman Siddiqui was the Vice Chancellor in Osmani University at that time. So भाई आप क्या कहना चाहते हैं? What do you want to say? Sir, if this formula has to be correct, I would like to modify it as E is equal to mc square plus or minus delta, where delta can be 0.1 on moon, 0.2 on earth, depending on the whatever parameters of physics and others. But then this formula as such is not correct in my classroom. It can be correct if I add another factor. And anybody can prove me wrong. And until somebody proves me wrong, I am right. This is how the argument went on. This happened because I took the trouble of just looking into the parameters and seeing measured in but then accept in our DNA to rationalize, how to question even the Einstein. Can all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Please
Or Dr.
continue, sir.
Sojilal, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir. Please continue.
Hello?
Sir, audible.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello? Yes, sir. Sound is audible.
Telangana and the government of Andhra have mandated to introduce artificial intelligence in schools. So I've been a resource person and I've been teaching to the kids. Of course, not this way, but much more mundane and small words in their own way. We are trying to now the machine learning, and now she's showing me machine learning versus deep learning. Okay. The book I'm teach ML versus, but my thing is out of books. So I'm trying to get across to you the meaning of the thinking, because I would like to link it to the tomorrow's jobs. Okay. Now I'd like to, if I have to design a welder or a telephone operator or a programmer, not human programmer, but electronic programmer or AI programmer. If I have to design, what I have to do is all that programming and the thinking I would have to convert into certain measurable parameters, convert them into from natural language to machine language. Machine language, as we know, is a binary language. I would also like to say here how binary language is understood by the machine. It's all zeros and ones. When I work on my computer, when I'm putting input to the computer, it is going to the computer in the form of electrical signals, nothing else. And the computer ultimately is linked to a power source, and that power source is transmitting it to the internet operator, and from there it is going to the satellite. Transducer satellite is receiving it and reflecting it back to the earth. That's how around the earth instantly my information is received by all a network of networks and so on. Now, this electrical pulse, electricity travels not as a straight line, which was thought to be, much before, but then we figured out subsequently that electricity travels in wave form, sine theta. It forms like a wave. Whatever zeros and in ones, let's say Barla, BARLA. Now B means 0011. A means 0111. In this way, I would convert BARLA into a composition of zeros and ones, and I would feed it to the computer. And whenever the wave is upwards, it is 1. Whenever the wave is downwards, it is 0. How many ones and how many zeros have been received? How the mix and match of zeros and ones are there? Oh, this is B. I must say it is B. 0011 means B. That's how the computer would understand and then reflect it back to you into your human language. That's how the machine basically understands the human interface. The electricity, the pulse is understood by the computer in the form of zeros and ones, which are nothing but the ups and downs waves which we see in the electrical signals. That's how the computer would understand in whichever language you write. The computer would understand it this way. Now, how the 10th standard kids in America are writing the programs. Because whether it is 60-year-old or 60-year-old, the neurons are same. The neurons are same. It's a question of putting them together and feeding it. The machine will do the rest. So what the AML has done is the destruction of age factor. There is no age factor. Everybody is same. You are a lump of neurons. As far as the AI is concerned, you are a lump of neurons. Earlier the better. Younger neurons would be much better. That's how all these the human factors are slowly being built into the machines. Even the thinking, we have fuzzy logic, all right? But then fuzzy logic is also unable to capture the feelings, the love and affection, sixth sense. We are trying to codify them as well. That's how the current research in Silicon Valley, the current research is going on, how to simulate, how to figure out the sixth sense and so on. But then it's in the beginning, nascent stages. And once we figure out those kind of things, probably we would enter into the next revolution of AI, which is quantum computing. AI is already old. If you go to Silicon Valley, they are already ahead with quantum computing. You know, the entanglement of cells and all that. So therefore, in India, we feel excited about talking about AI/ML, but then we must quickly understand all this. And then I found AI/ML, learning AI/ML was much simpler than learning 12th standard calculus, unit operations, heat transfer, mass transfer in BTech, huge subjects. And to me, AI/ML has been much simpler. So I'm not talking about the research level, but I'm talking about BTech, MTech level AI/ML. So everybody, whether you are a history student or Indian Telugu student or Malayali student, you know, you will be able to master the. I'm a metallurgical engineer. I forgot metallurgical engineering much earlier. Later on, I studied law, management. I understood the essence of AI/ML. Then I wrote my examinations and passed my MTech with 9.4 CGPA. Therefore, I am giving this confidence to all of you that it's much easier. Everybody should pursue higher education, research in AI/ML. And if you ask me, the only subject which is there in future is AI/ML. Medicine is AI/ML. Space science is AI/ML. Engineering is AI/ML. Natural languages, English, Telugu is all AI/ML. Everything goes into the AI/ML box. Therefore, if you are not studying AI/ML, you're not studying at all. So I would appeal to all the learned audience to pursue this AI/ML domain more vigorously, passionately, and try to get into this and create things. You know, when you are in AI/ML domain, you need to be like the way I questioned E is equal to MC squared. That is the attitude and aptitude you must possess if you want to survive in AI/ML. Simply getting a degree doesn't mean anything. Everybody who is working in software industry or any other, even old economy companies, everybody operates with AI/ML only. Uh, you need to have ability to question the basic out into some unknown things, then you will survive there. Even if you're wrong, you will be my angel because your wrong thinking has paved the way for somebody else right thinking. So I would encourage wrong questions. I would encourage stupid questions. I would always tell in my classes. But do not hesitate. You may be in your 20s or 30s, you've been in this era where questioning was a sin. Now, the questioning will be a blessing. Wrong questions. Okay, you should never be afraid of and keep on asking questions. And then why the earth is round. When you ask only, somebody will tell wrongly again. So many iterations you will make. Finally, you would come at an answer as to why the earth is round. You will find that the least surface is a sphere compared to any other surface with a given length or given parameters. Therefore, the least energy will be possible only in a sphere. Therefore, the liquid earth acquired a spherical shape. This answer you will get if you go on thinking yourself. When I was studying my BTech, I never studied guides because I had no money to buy guides. Only textbooks. All the questions at the end of each chapter, I used to solve myself. You think about it, you question it, you go to library, read it again and again, solve all the exercise questions by yourself. Simple. That helped me to crack CAT examination and stand among the top percent on India CAT examination. That is possible for everybody. But today I have come into this session to only emphasize this aspect that in AML era, if you want to survive, the only way is to be creative. You must have the learning and thinking the way I defined today, and the way, so you're going to transform yourself. You can't be like others. So that is what I have to say. And then for 2 minutes, I can, because Priyanka ji wants some time also. I would have loved to take forward the models of clustering, the Gini coefficient, the entropy parameter, using them, how I calculate the nearest neighbors, all these, the subject and the academic stuff I can, but this session is not meant for that. I would not like to talk about entropy here and so on. So that world of creativity which is ahead for you, either you learn or extinct. Either you
Dr. Barla, are you there? Your audio is lost. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt, Dr. V. Barla, sir. Can I continue?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it's
Yes,
visible.
ma'am. But it is not. Yes, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, a very good afternoon, one and all present here. Myself, Dr. Shiva Priyanka, working as Assistant Professor, Department of EC, CBIT, and I'm also working as a Assistant Director for Industrial and International Collaboration Cell, CBIT. And as already introduced by ma'am, and I completed my PhD in the area of speech signal processing, where we have developed various adaptive beamforming algorithms for speech enhancement. But my journey started into the AI from my PhD, whereas I have introduced non-negative matrix factorization and sparse-based algorithms for adaptive beamforming to identify background noise in the video conferences, the speech, background speech in the background noisy speech in the video conferences application. But I found, so developing algorithm and writing papers and analyzing something technically, I felt it is not completely fruitful. So my journey into this completely about healthcare, AI and IoT into healthcare started from I guess August 2022. So I started journey in 2022, but I feel that it is not wasted. I learned techniques from the PhD. Doesn't I felt I mean my efforts were not wasted. Whereas technology is very much important, where we can also rely the same technology into the other applications. So I moved into healthcare and agriculture fields to analyze what AI changes into these applications, which is very, very essential for us to survive on this earth. So food is very much important. Similarly, our health, nothing more than assets, whatever we are gaining in a professional way. It is very much important for us to be healthy and to survive, taking a good intake and to survive and analyze ourselves. Basically, I have seen few of the people, most of the times they are making their kids into the field of medicine. Somewhere they feel that at least the medicine will help them to train themselves to understand about their health. But nowadays it's everything completely changed towards the AI transformation, and only learning about something, AI models in predicting or in analyzing or in detecting something, some disease related to our human body, will definitely will not solve the problem. So somewhere you also required to understand how these wearable devices or how the medical uh, hardware will help the uh, doctors. So now always there will be a standard repelled question being happen, whether AI replaces the doctor. So as of now, Barla sir had introduced about very basic things about the AI and machine learning, but how these algorithms will replace the doctor, whether they will really replace. So 50-50, I mean, percent of conclusion is still being given by the chat GPT. Somewhere AI, somewhere doctors. So judgment or realistic solutions, obviously, the doctor in person only can solve the issues. But whereas in early prediction, and reminders, making a reminding alerts both for the patient as well as the doctor, definitely our AI models will come as a front end desk for the hospitals. So what are all the topmost hospitals now, they are using this AI tools as their front end desk in maintaining the patient's history, or in maintaining patient's diagnosis data, or giving alerts to the patients to be to take their intake food or intake medicines, or identifying and reminding the early detection of the diseases. So all these are been analyzing from past, I mean, into my analysis from 2022. Whereas in 2024, with practical analysis, I started in 2022 only working on all the various types of designed and developed and existing models from the internet is being analyzed. So the huge literature I have been traveled by identifying this AI to various parts of human body. I worked on epilepsy, applying this AI onto ECG signals, EMG signal to identify epilepsy, nothing but seizures in the patients, either with directly focal and local. Both the seizures has been measured. And whereas the second part, I started identifying autism patients using artificial intelligence, whether the patient is having autism or not, either by images or by the video. It has been started. So we developed various CNN models apart from the literature as well to identify and get a good accuracy in that field. And I started our journey, and top from the bottom I used to start a human body, started with the brain and epilepsy we worked, and later on coming to the vocal part, we also worked with the vocal analysis. Means if the person is having any laryngeal disorder without a vocal cord, will they able to speak? So we designed a wearable device which is a TRL level 5 device right now. So to identify and capture the signals and enhancing by using the AI techniques. So that coming slides I'll show in depth about all the case studies, what made me to travel into this AI for healthcare studies. And then we worked with Alzheimer's, we worked with the heart-based disease, we worked with lung analysis by taking a spirometry data, and we worked for the liver cirrhosis and stage prediction of kidney. And we also worked I'm not going to cover that part here in this session. We worked with the knee analysis, identifying the knee pains using a wearable devices, and similarly giving an intimation of a patient to the doctor is being traveled in all the applications whatever I told. Now started the AI in medical diagnosis, transforming complete healthcare through AI onto this zones. So this is a first problem statement I have taken, and this is a project got set sanctioned a project from MSME Women Ideathon 3.0. And this project is being given to my student Ajita, who is passed out of 2024, and she got that in the final year of 15 lakhs word. So the problem statement is all about identifying seizures in a patient. So when the technology comes into picture, here the data is already from past 4 days. You may have seen how the data is going to play a crucial role in identifying various sort of diseases, or predicting the diseases, or analyzing the diseases. So here for us also it is became a huge burden to find the data related to the EMG signal of seizures. So we now collaborated with the AIMS BB Nagar, Hyderabad, and we had a collaboration with Apollo Hospitals, Hyderabad, and we had the AIMS Hospital, Hyderabad, as I said, and AIG also. So based on the support from the doctors, now my technical journey is been moving and experimenting and making my students to work in various fields by taking the data either from the hospital or from the Kaggle. So we faced an issue at the starting in collection of data. This problem is completely using AI and IoT for seizures detection. So here using a EMG based wearable device, the input sensor is a EMG sensor, which we are making to look like a wearable watch. So which will take the input signal through EMG, means the movement of the muscle movement will be captured using this sensor. The captured signal is being processed, pre-processed, and later on analyzing the features from those signals, and then we'll classify the signals whether the patient is having seizures or not. So how we'll be communicating this information to the patients? The major outcome of this problem is the patient will receive his seizures attention before 2 seconds. So we designed a model which will detect the seizures and reflect that either through SMS or to the neighbors or to the doctor, and also will give the GPS location of that person so that he can sit before 2 seconds of getting this. We are in a way even to identify and make the seizures more effective, increasing the seconds to minutes. But from the doctor analysis, we have submitted this to the Siddhartha Neurological Hospital located in Nizampet Crossroads, Hyderabad. So we had a reviewed with the doctors and identified that mentioning about the seizures in 5 minutes is not a precautionary measure for the patient. So we cannot identify the signals still in a minutes of the seizures analysis. It is better to go with the second. So that was a conclusion given by the doctor. But whereas 80% of this project is completed, now we are in the TRL level 6. We had given our kit to the technology transfer. Now we are yet to get our wearable device based model. So we had used a myowet sensor, and we have used bioamp also as one of the way to identify our seizures. Here this is an bioamp, so where you are connecting a wearable band through this wearable electrodes, we will be able to get this bioamp, and in the app you will be displaying whether you will be getting the seizures in a fraction of seconds, or it will be giving an intimation about your location as well as the alert to the neighbors. So whereas of course the journey and listening to the problem statement and identify the things, it's very easy when I say, but we struggled almost 2 years to complete this task, because we don't find the data set very closer to this application. You are finding some EMG based data set from online, either Kaggle or GitHub, but the major issue is you didn't find the data related to the seizures taking input as EMG. But nowhere in the hospitals, no people are using a EMG based sensor. That is a major novelty of this work. People are identifying either ECG signal, because one of my PhD student, P. Ranjit, he is working on ECG based seizure analysis, but where he will identify from which electrode of which neuron of your brain is creating that disturbance. So basically we call it as a focal and local analysis of neurons in the brain, where we are using a 42 channels ECG mission to capture the signals. The same procedure, whatever may be the AI based application, obviously it will start from the signal acquisition, data pre-processing, using any sort of model. Basically the layers we may be changing based upon our computation efforts or our accuracy dependence. But whereas this procedure is very common for AI based applications, and he is testing a knowledge based learning. But whereas for this seizures identification, we have used LSTM as well as CNN models to analyze the seizure presence. So knowledge transfer GANs we have used, and transfer learning also we tried. So we are receiving around 94% of seizure prediction in this application. And coming to the next case study, so it is 80% completed. We had our patent rights on this work. So that's the issue of displaying the content. And a few two patents we raised, both for EMG signals and also ECG signal. The applicant is CBIT Hyderabad, and the funding is been received by the MSME for one project. And one more project, the CBIT in-house itself provided us the funding to do this analysis. And one more, the very autism assistive device. This is a journey we started in 2024 by the BTech final year student. And whereas the problem statement is being taken from a bar rehabilitation center located in Kukutpalli, Hyderabad. And Dr. Faninder Reddy suggested us to work on this problem statement, identifying the behavior of autism patient, because in there he works for Apollo and he had his own clinic. Basically his background is a speech analyst, speech trainer, and he'll also train the people who are having vocal disorders and also behavioral disorders. So he suggested us, most of the abroad companies are providing autism assistive devices like augmented communication devices. So why can't you try at India in implementing those things? So our first question is, what is the base that we are supposed to take? So he said we had an option either to go with speech or image or video. So we started implementing this autism assistive device using image as video, and speech is been continuing, not from by our student, but one of my colleague, Sureka Reddy. She is also NIT passed out of 2021. And we are working in emotional based speech recognition for autism patients. So basically, autism is a neurological disorder where the student or a patient, he'll be in only one situation, either continuously crying or continuously laughing and continuously doing only the same thing. So identification may be easy for analyzing the autism, but how can we provide a solution for the doctor was our issue. So when it come to this case, we are providing a variable device, implementing something in the way of research, implementing the algorithms or getting a novelty in the proposals or novelty in the research publication doesn't matter, but how this AI is helping the doctors, how this AI is going to help the patients is our major motto. Because that is the way where I moved from my technical field into this. Something should I am able to see, I am physically supposed to verify that. So that passion made me to move into this field. So obviously my solution always either to the patient or to the doctor. So again here also we made the same thing. So we have taken a data set from the Kaggle. FERX database is available. You can refer many articles related to the autism image analysis. You will get that database. So we also trained the database using some efficient B7 network, which is a machine learning model, where it will identify whether the patient is having, by taking an image as an input, autism or not. So we identified. So what is the solution for the doctor? So we started, this is the way how we have implemented this. I'm not going into the depth because I had various case studies to show you and time is limited, right? So our contribution is first to identify whether that image is having autism or not. I mean, that kids image is having autism or not. So we identified using a machine learning. It's an existing machine learning model. Nowhere here I am inventing some machine learning model or some AI or deep learning model. I'm using the same standard model, but I'm changing the layers as per the requirement of my accuracy and my feature extraction parameters. So that is what I am doing. I can say nowadays, now when we had a CLAD and the Perplex, it is very easy for one who can develop something in a fraction of weeks. I can say in a weeks, a student can write a paper, can do a new implementation, can do like that. I will also discuss how my students are working and taking this AI inputs in generating the things also I'll introduce. So this is a way autism is being detected using this model. So technically, I'm right. Using a B7 efficient model in each stage, we verified and we changed the layers and we modified the weight coefficients. We had described our own transfer learnings for each transfer function for each layer, and we identified that way. That comes to the technical part. That is all fine. But when here we had designed an app which will make a parent hassle free to tackle this autism based patients. So we designed an app. So first we identified that he is having autism. So that comes to the doctor front desk, I can say front desk help. But we thought of even giving some solution to the patient, but to the parent, and to also make the patient to learn about something using our app. So this is a Raspberry Pi based implementation. Here Raspberry Pi and screen is being connected, whereas our program, our analysis, everything dumped onto the Raspberry Pi. But here our major intention to display not the code, but our intention is to display the app and make a parent hassle free and the patient to entertain using this app, using this learning analysis. What is happening here, I can say this algorithm, when you consider, of course it is a CNN machine learning based algorithm, B7 algorithm. But when it comes to the autism detection, this apps making the patient to stay calm and learn something. So we will have multiple levels of autism patients. I can say my app will be suitable for level 3 patients. So where they know that that is being identified by the parents, and it is being getting training from the hospital, either behavioral training or maybe I can say speech training, I can say this part. And what is happening, this app will tell to the parent that whether he is hungry. We will train the student. App must be trained to the patient that if he press the green line, it means he need a water, he need a food, or he is in some emergency. Only four basic things we placed, and we also made a patient to get engaged in learning something. So we'll show four. If we press I will place a keyboard, and if we identify the same number here, then you will be getting a 4 and a green color. If he is not able to identify, then you will be getting a red color. In that way, just a basic app which will, because making something and not providing any solutions, we felt, because if you are able to do this on the Raspberry Pi in India, we can deliver this kit for 6,000 only. So now the ACC assistive devices, when you check, you are getting around more than 20,000, and all the parents are being used by the imported products as well. So this is our basic attempt from the IoT lab to excuse me, to identify patient is having autism and whether he'll be able to manage this app. This is one real-time implementation. I'm showing all the case studies. All the case studies are being developed either in our IoT lab or in AIoT for biomedical signal processing. A winter upskilling I was taking from past 60 hours. I can say this is a week. I'm completing the 60 hours, 3 months. So here I'm showing one more work that is being done by my student Nakshatra. And this is a continuation to this autism. Here, autism I have identified using a image. Now, this work is completely based on video-based motion analysis of early diagnosis of the autism patient. In the Kaggle, we had this data, but downloading the Kaggle privacy is not being given. So we have taken this information from Turkey University, I guess, Turkish University, and we posted multiple mails to them, and then they reacted and gave the access. Now this database is only with us. I mean, whoever posts the request, they are providing the standard database that is being recorded for around 58 patients in one hospital. Okay, so we have collected this data in that way. So here, based upon the movement, so based upon the neck movement, or he will the patient will continuously tap his head like this. If a patient is tapping the head more than 5 times, means he is having a autism, because regular healthy person cannot do that. So continuously tapping or continuously some movement in his gesture, so will be identified. Again, here also we are using a deep learning algorithm to identify same procedure, taking an input and classifying the frame feature extraction and identifying the post detection using a media pipe. It is a CNN based work. So we had used a media pipe as one of the interface in to extract the features. I mean, movements of hand movements or head movements of the patient. And this is with one type of database. And here one more student you can see. This is Shruti, and she is working on the same behavioral detection of autism patient, but this is with the YouTube links. So we have autism patient YouTube data available in the online. So you can take that data, the same places we are monitoring. We are analyzing the behavior pattern. We are identifying the motion analysis, and also we are identifying video based monitoring. And finally, we are giving a assistive help to the patient. Similar way here also, we are developing some app for the patient, and which will be trained by the patient to understand his behavior directly to the doctor, where we will be capturing the information of the patient through our camera. The camera display will be there at the front desk in the hospital to monitor these patients, because you can see if it is a very big hospital, you may be getting a multiple patients having this autism. Most prominently, autism is existed in the more foreign countries compared to India. So now the clinics who are dealing more per a week, they will be getting around 30 inpatient having this autism. So for them, it is easy to maintain a CC camera based module at their home to monitor his gestures and whether the behavior is being improved or not. That analysis we are doing using this autism behavioral detection. And students of fourth sem has been implemented. That's what I told. Now Claude is available. If I tell my student do something here, in weeks they are giving. No, most of the senior professors and most of the scientists and most of the technical people from the industries, they are telling AI is very soon, but it is very cautionary. People, it's very difficult to monitor how, even if you are giving a problem statement to these students, they are coming in a 1 week solving with the solution. So the students are not completely understanding the whole ground truth of the algorithms or ground truth of the coding. So they are coming up and implementing the solutions just like that. So we should be very cautious to understand, because these students are coming regularly to the classes, but when I gave this task, I guess this I received in only 1 hour, and very promptly they are generating and using whatever the model that we are using in our code, the same they are applying and giving a beautiful posters like this. These are the posters all been collected in the morning. So currently we are working, and that's why I'm not mentioning what algorithm I am using here very clearly. Hope you have seen. Nowhere it is being displayed because it is yet to publish. Both the works are yet to publish. And this is one more work where my final year student is doing. And we had a collaboration with the Crest lab, BITS Pilani, Hyderabad, where we had taken a help of analyzing a sensor. So they are helping out in designing the sensor for us. And Abhigna is taking this problem statement. So as I discussed, started from brain and brain disorder. Epilepsy is one of the disease, and the autism is one of the disorder. And now I'm coming it to the throat. This is a laryngeal disorder. Obviously, my previous work, as I told, the speech enhancement is helping me the background of developing this healthcare application. So here, when I say we started this journey in 2022 itself, we faced almost 2 years to come out the solution. So the journey started with syringe device. I can show this syringe device is available in YouTube. You can type SYNRIX. SYNRIX is a vocal device. Again, this problem statement is also being taken from a bar rehabilitation center. So they have provided, they are facing an issue with a portable electrolarynx. We had a portable electrolarynx which is coming around 10,000. Which will be like a probe like this. We can easily hold that probe. We are supposed to place this probe to the neck, and we need to press in order to get the speech out. But it is of cost 10,000. You are able to see the robotic voice using that. You can type, you can search electrolarynx as a device. You can check out that. And this he expected clean noise from that. So when our journey started, Japan, I guess Tomishan from Tokyo University, he is assistant professor over there. He only invented this syringe to the market, but he is not delivering. I mean, they are not completely delivering that to the patient, but he had invented that part. So he had designed using a sound attenuator and signal detector, sound attenuator and sound detector. It is also a wearable device. It will capture the muscle movement, and then it will detect the muscle movement, because the source of a sound is will be coming through our lens. Hope everyone knows that. So it will start from our stomach through our respiratory system. It will enter till here. So our vocal based organs like our lips or tongues, it will help to route phonics for the sound. But whereas still here you will get the vocal vibration. So we are, as a technologist, we required the vibration. We had many things technically proved that from the vibrations we can generate a speech by padding a phonics onto that. Either the speech enhancement for speech recognition based applications is being taken in that way, and also most of the speech recognition applications, it is been happening. But when it comes to the medical terminology, vocal disorder is a very, very bigger task for the cancer patients whom there is no vocal cord. If you are having paralysis patient, they also cannot communicate directly, but the vocal movement we can capture through the throat. They may be not giving, because their lips, tongue, teeth are not helping them to release the sound out. That may be the problem over there. But you can capture the vocal signal from here by using some sort of device. That vocal electrolarynx we had in the market, but robotic voice, when you capture the signal, it is completely vibration with robotic voice, where the patient cannot communicate clearly to the opposite person, and it is also not handy. You are supposed to hold it continuously to generate one word or one sentence. It is very difficult for the patient. There is no device, I can proudly say, and my institution is provided the funding for us to work on it. We had patent rights on it, so we are working purely in doing this. But whereas this Tokyo University professor, when we mailed for the data set, because whatever the tools and the hardware used in his paper is being customized from Ireland. We contacted Ireland, this electronic shop, and there also they replied that it was being customized. And we contacted the professor. He replied at the starting stage about his journals and all. When we answered him that we are working on this, we are interlinking the speech enhancement with AI powered in that way, he had completely removed the technicality from his page. Now you are able to see only a video in a YouTube, but there is no page on Sirens. And he mailed us. We are also working on AI. Shortly, we will provide you the database using that particular design, whatever he invented. So our journey in 2023 stopped. Again, in 2024, we enriched, taking help from Bits Pilani, Hyderabad. They are very good in designing sensors. So we requested them to design a sensor which will capture the it should act like a transducer, hydrogel based sensor they have designed. So, and placed this hydrogel based sensor to the throat, where it will capture the signals. That vibrations are being communicated and converted using a sound detector and audio amplifier. Finally, you will be getting some sort of device. So you can see this is being fabricated at our lab, and this also been fabricated. It is not a fully a wearable device. We made like a dog belt. Now still we are redefining and consulting some technology transfer based companies. We are reaching to get a pure wearable device soon that will be released in the market. And I thank my management for supporting this project, and this project in-house grant of 2.5 lakhs been received. And I can say that again we are receiving some signal. Of course, now the AI plays a major role where in enhancing the signal received. So it will reduce the background noise or residual noise or a disturbance created by the throat air vibrations. Okay, so we are using AI here to analyze that. IMF is a model. We have I think we received minor comments from IEEE paper also for this work. And this is the way how we are working on AI for vocal disorders, I can say, vocal disorders. And this is one more case study I am presenting in front of you, that is working on pulmonology disease classification. I think I haven't placed this heart-based work. I guess one more student added that SpO2 based work she is doing, sleep apnea, I guess. Yeah, I'll show you that as well. So this is one more work done by my students, identifying lungs infections. Basically, CT scan or X-ray or MRI scan, it will help you to go with the graphical analysis or X-ray based image analysis, right? But whereas here we are taking spirometry, because when you reach the pulmonology doctor at the front desk, you will find a breathing device which will tell whether your lungs are infected or what is the strength of your lungs, or you are healthy. So we are supposed to blow that, and there a graph is being generated. But now we are at this stage where all the current hospitals in the India are only working on breathing that and identifying, getting report and submitting that recognition report, I mean diagnosis report to the doctor, right? When you see this spirometry data here, time versus volume characteristics you are able to find from the spirometry. So on analysis of that, we can tell whether the patient is having. But I literally faced this issue for my mother, taking her to the Apollo hospital, and she is of 68 years old. And when we asked her to blow the thing, she's blowing, but she's doing in a various ways. She's doing so various ways, but we are not trained to blow that, because to understand and to make a patient very easy, uh, the diagnosis people who are staying over there at the front desk in the hospital, they are trying their level best to train the patient, but failed. Finally, after 10 to 15 attempts, they asked us to wait, they asked us to train and come back. 2 hours I spent in the hospital to do this practice and make my mother to blow into this pyrometry. Now there required some resolution. My thought began from there. I reacted the same thing with Sai Babu Reddy sir, who is, you can check his profile in online. He is a doctor at Apollo Hospital, Hyderabad. And he also worked for Yashoda as well. Yashoda Sikindrabad, Hyderabad location. So I asked him. So he told we are not depending only on the spirometry, we are also depending on the X-rays. So, and he also showed me few cases how he will be identifying. There are few, because there are some AI tools for the diagnosing, the video capturing from the our X-ray device. He's showing some video analysis on the lungs and telling me, I mean, spotting the lungs and identifying the disease captured, infection captured area. So I told, will it help you? He said it is very, very important for our front desk to directly give the report, so that the doctor will be benefited. Similarly, the patient will be benefited when you are training your model with 80% of different database. So even if if you are getting a parameters like this FEV1, FVC, and FEF, these are the parameters: lungs capacity, mid expiratory flow, and expiratory forced flow, forced vital capacity. All these are the parameters that a doctor should analyze. If you are creating a dashboard, which when you blow, it will automatically detects and define your problem, then it is easy for the doctor. So again, we started working on that, and we are using explainable AI for analyzing the parameters of spirometry here, and helping the pulmonology doctor by providing a dashboard through the app as well as website for him. This is one more work done by my student Deepthi. And coming to one more analysis, as I told you, behavioral analysis is very much important to identify stress in the people, right? So now, and also social media harassment, right? Where our AI is definitely helping major tools to find the emotion. But here we are coming up with a text-based emotion recognition. This is a block diagram, how we started working on it. And BERT is a Google-based model, which is available online for you. But to use that on the system, run with the GPUs, will definitely execute something and show the outcome and the accuracy, all whatever maybe the confusion matrix, all the performance. To the research, it is very, very efficient. It is useful, and we are fine. But when it comes to the hardware, you are definitely required to go with the what to say tiny ML models. I can say tiny ML models. So here comes, we have fine-tuned the BERT designed by the Google and made it as a distilled BERT, because we fine-tuned and converted into tiny ML. So most of the people may be knowing about artificial intelligence, deep learning, working on GPUs, but it is very crucial for hardware developers to design any wearable device or to design some sort of interface. We required a controller which will accept very less code. So TinyML was one of the model we introduced. Based upon the text input, our model is able to understand. So we dumped on the Raspberry Pi and identified whether given text input is a fair enough or not. So this is one more problem statement. I'm furious. How could they betray my trust like that? This is the one prompt being given by here in implementing that. So these are the various prompts I received. So, and again, we designed a mobile app also, where when you give I got first rank, then that text need to be entered by the person. Now our tiny ML is helping us to give the emotion. I am joyful, right? So that is a display. This is one more problem statement we solved. And this is one more problem statement on the chronic kidney disease prediction. I can say how many people are diabetic and getting affected this kidney issues, and how many times they are going on with this dialysis and all, and what are the various phases they are taking now, either with the stones or a tumor or classification of tumors and all. This is a software implementation only for this problem statement. We identified various stages of kidneys, and we had developed a recommendation system for the front desk of the hospital. And when they show the MRI scan, then they'll be able to identify whether they are having a stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3 of the kidney. Similarly, we worked on the liver diagnosis. This is also software implementation. Both the databases we can find in the Kaggle. There is a standard databases limiting to the work. I think on my paper is also online on the kidney disease stage prediction and the liver cirrhosis in IEEE. So using some machine learning models we came across, and the fruitfulness of research comes into picture when you do some product implementation. And this is also one more model where EEG based epilepsy. I have shown you identifying epilepsy or seizure detection using EMG, ECG, and EEG. Always it is very, very important for one to understand what is the basics about the signal processing to analyze these signals. And then you will do pre-processing, removing all the raw data and making whatever required for your experimentation. And then from that pre-processed data, you will be segregating what are the various labels in when it comes about turns on the machine learning, or what are the various features in that signal is being identified from whole data. That may be a 3 GB or 4 GB data. And finally, you will be understanding, okay, this is a healthy data, unhealthy data. Whatever may be the signals, the same procedure is being used. And then you apply machine learning to identify healthy and unhealthy, or to predict only healthy. In that way, this process goes on. Finally, instead of only developing some algorithm based work, we also developed some app which automatically intimate a patient. You can check out EMG based epilepsy. It is EMG is a sensor, neuromuscular sensor, which will identify the electrical activity, and it will also carry the residual noise or system generated noise. We use some filtering techniques in the speech processing, either as an electronics guy, I can say STFT or time domain or wavelet based analysis. We'll do that and we'll classify the signals. using AI models finally will predict whether the person is having seizure or not. And this is one more problem statement. And as a case study, we have done in our lab sleep apnea monitoring. So taking SpO2 as a major concern here. So by taking the few parameters using a 1D CNN model, we identify how the patient continuous monitoring of sleep samples and identified whether this person is having apnea or not. This is one more work is being done here, and this is a one more problem statement. Same signal processing background. So here basically we'll get this gains for the Parkinson patients. So we are going to take identify the fog. Of course, the fog is a certain moment that you will identify for the Parkinson's patient. So it is very hard to observe and monitor continuously. We may have seen this continuously around various situations. So here using an accelerometer, the data is being captured. So the Kaggle data is providing about our gained Parkinson's database is available in the Kaggle. We are using the same Kaggle data, but now we realized that instead of implementing a AI model, here they are using, I guess, 2D CNN they are using here to identify this signals, predict whether the person Parkinson patient is able to get an alert or not. But the thing we identified, we can also go with a wearable device, placing that to our what is a backbone. If we place an accelerometer over there, and if that wearable device is able to find the capture, and it will tell whether they are able to fell or they can maintain with the same way or not. That is also one of the problem statement. And coming closer to the session, so I have shown you the multiple ways of work that is been working from our lab, IoT and AIoT for biomedical signal processing applications. We worked on MRI, CT scans, ultrasound analysis we have done. We worked on EMG, ECG, EEG signals. And we also tried implementing various wearable device unto the level of TRL6. And I'm always ready to collaborate further in analyzing the things, because hospitals located in Hyderabad only, I know I also required the hospitals located in Kerala or the people who are joined here. So a collaborative work can definitely lead to a fruitful solution. So I too expect collaborative work into the field of healthcare, what I am currently working. And I'm very happy that these are all the works displayed here, or all my students who had developed in a span of 2 to 3 months. So I can also say whatever the tools we had here in identifying the things, on making our tools useful for the for developing as well as retaining into the market is also very essential. All these products whatever I have shown, we don't have in India. It is a greater attempt for us to develop and continue our research further in developing the products and making ourselves a pan-India movement in designing all the electronic-based wearable device, or helping the doctors in implementing the apps and all. So always, whenever I start my implementation, started analyzing the problem statement, national and international status. So I always request the people who are purely working onto the AI for healthcare to check your problem statement. Either it will be suitable for both national status and international status before we start. And here I am. I have completed my work. I guess it's open for questions. I'm ready to take the questions from the participants. And thank you, sir, for providing this opportunity. I wanted to thank my director, sir, for giving an opportunity to explore our various case studies done by our students to the participants gathered here. I think more than 150 participants I have seen even on the inaugural day and today also at the starting. Thank you. Thank you for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the valuable section. Thank you once again, sir and madam, for that highly informative and engaging session. The discussion on AI applications in healthcare, along with the case studies and tools, was truly insightful and beneficial for all of us. I now invite participants to ask their questions, if any. Dear participants, please ask the questions. You can put it in the chat box.
There is a question in the chat box. What is the sensitivity and specificity of autism application?
So, whether you are asking for the image-based learning or your concern is about video analysis, because I have presented two cases here. One is on image as well as one is on video analysis.
The question in the chat box. Question is asked by G. Ramesh.
G. Rameshan. So I have video analysis. We are reaching around 88 point change sensitivity. So and the accuracy for that problem we received because the video analysis here for the two problems I have mentioned. One is from MEII database and one more is from YouTube database. Getting around above 85, sir, and below 91 I can convey. Yeah, below 95. Sir, in IoT, based upon the application, I can see some Ekta Rana is questioning in IoT which sensor is used in health monitoring. So I have discussed various problem statements here. When it comes to the ECG based signal, we are going with the bioamp sensor and for capturing the EMG signals, and ECG based, we have ECG based electrodes where we can place the to a controller and we can work out. It is all about seizures. We had a 42 channels EEG mission also we had, and we are capturing in that way. When you are coming up with other devices like I can say this spirometry, directly we are taking spirometry data, ma'am. There is no device, it is not IoT based. Here the major only IoT concern is related to first epilepsy seizures is one of the problem statement, and one more is our vocal disorder, laryngeal disorder based work. For the laryngeal disorder based sensor capturing, it is been a hydrogel based sensor, ma'am. It is developed in Bits Pilani, Hyderabad, and we are using the same sensor for capturing the vibrations. Two sensors here, and one more, I guess, sleep apnea. Sleep apnea, SpO2 is the sensor we are using, and which will capture the oxygen rate. Based on the oxygen samples, we will be identifying person is having a sleep apnea or not.
One more question. Can you suggest any textbook to introduce in academics?
Textbook related to purely healthcare? Nowadays, there is no standard textbook that is revealing with the current problems. But you can see there are many international book publishers with variable problem statements. Instead of going with the regular standard textbook for analyzing biomedical signal processing is a content that you will get different. AI-based biomedical signal processing, now we are getting in a Springer books. We had many publishers from the Springer where they are describing each problem as one of the chapter. So accordingly, we need to check and we need to move further. Whether the proceedings are based on only one particular track or one particular device in the disease in that way. Yeah.
Question asked by Parameshwari. Any other
Roshan,
parameters?
yeah.
Any other parameters except accuracy, precision, recall, ROC, sensitivity, selectivity?
Yeah, ma'am, this is very, very important, ma'am. So as a as a researcher, we feel something. As a product designer, we feel something. But where, as a product designer, we need to know what are the hurdles we are going to face in
Sound is breaking.
the real
Excuse me, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes.
you are audible now.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, audible.
You know what is happening when we are thinking only am I audible? There is a little
Yes.
lag in
Yes,
my
ma'am.
network.
Yes, ma'am, it's audible. Audible. Sometimes the sound is breaking. ma'am.
Yes. Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. Are you there? I think Dr. Shiva Priyanka's network is disconnected. Dr. Sachita, can we conclude the session? It is already 4:18.
Okay, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Is it okay to share the recordings?
sure. After the FTP, every session's recordings will be shared to you and materials will be shared to you.
Okay, thank you.
There is a book called AI Applications in Healthcare by Kapila Monga that is available in Amazon. You can acquire that book for library. It's an expensive book costing about 5,000, but very, very exhaustive. A lot of experiments were conducted, and that could be a starting point. Thank you.
Thank you, Barla sir, for the information. Dr. Sachita, ma'am,
Okay.
let's conclude.
Thank you very much, Dr. V. Barla and Dr. V. Shivapriyanka ma'am for highly informative and engaging section. Thank you once again, sir and madam, for patiently answering all the queries and for sharing your expertise with us. On behalf of everyone present here, I extend our sincere gratitude to both of you for delivering such a wonderful section. I request all participants to kindly fill out the feedback form shared in the chat box. Thank you all for your active participation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Let us continue to engage and learn in the upcoming sessions.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you for waiting for me. There is a low internet and it is completely cloudy in Hyderabad.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I'm answering to the person who posed me a question regarding the parameters. Sir or madam, when you are working purely on the machine learning algorithms, it is mandatory for the research publications or to analyze about that algorithm. These parameters are important. When your major intention is to understand about the product release into the market and you are beneficiary of patient or beneficiary of the health doctor or hospital, so it is obviously to understand whether the product is available in the market or not. So it is very, very important for us to work on those parameters when it comes to AIoT for healthcare. So we our major intention whether we are able to dump that code onto the controller, whether our code is tiny or it is very heavy, then where can we reduce and optimize the complete code?
And we also need to look into, along with AI based parameters, if you are working with a signal processing based thing, because as I told you, most of the things are as an input. I have taken all our signals. We can also come up with the SNR, SANR, or if you are coming with the speech based work, as I told you, STOA is one of the parameter, PESQ is one of the parameter. So these are some quality and intelligibility measures when you are coming with the vocal, right? Similarly, based upon our application output, we are supposed to rely on few parameters which are purely useful for our quality of outcome. So it is all not mandatory all the time. All the papers are showing the same thing, which we doesn't require. As I told you, nothing is completely being implemented by me. So I'm not proposing some algorithm. I'm using the algorithm which is already available. But as per my requirement, I'm changing the layers. That becomes my novelty. Yeah. Any other questions, ma'am?
Ma'am, chat box asking about mail ID and phone number. Your
Okay.
mail ID and phone number.
Yeah, I guess I will place 1 sec. Yeah. One second.
Since we have already scheduled the sessions up to 4 o'clock, many of the participants are already left. And within the time that you have in disconnected mode, we have already shared a vote of thanks to you. Very sorry to say that. Okay.
No
Anyway,
issue, no problem, no problem.
very informative session. Lot of projects are exhibited by you, are giving eye-opening for us. We can have such a projects within our students, and will be
Yes.
useful for our students. Very thankful to you.
Thank you so much for giving the opportunity.
We are
Definitely, you can get back through my mail, and you can check out my profile available online. So we can do the interactive works further, because I too need hospitals data from the other zones of the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
We'll contact you back to this number. Thank you for
Right.
sharing number.
Right, ma. Right.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sujita.
Thank you, Barla sir.